Right, can we have some silence, please?
Regs as well.
Do you think the younger drivers adapt quicker to the new regs?
I think it's almost undoubtedly not true.
Think what?
I think that's a terrible take.
Yeah.
What did you say? What?
I was like, no.
I don't
He
think.
had us in the first half, to be fair.
I don't think.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Ahead at the Apex. I am Josh, and once again, I'm joined by Tim and Jake. That's because it's the same day, and we're recording 2 episodes in one go. Hello, boys.
Hello.
Today, we're primarily talking about MotoGP, but we're also going to finish off the Formula One bits we didn't get covered in last week's episode. There's no point asking how you both are, because has it changed in the last hour? I mean, that noise is pissing us off.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Sorry if you can hear this noise. We're in a room. Some people have also commented saying this room looks like it's a police interview room, which is kind of funny because it does kind of feel like that.
It does, yeah. There's zero personality.
We're in a room that is designated for podcast recording. In it is a very nicely provided 2 tables and some very expensive microphone and mixing board equipment. Yep. All of that is provided for us for free, and all we had to do was sit through a 2-hour session to be able to use it. We've also got these soundboards on the wall.
If you want to apply as well.
It's very nice soundboards up on the wall, but we are in the middle.
Why are you doing a house tour?
We are in the middle of a laser,
Hey, MTV.
like a laser room where they do laser cutting and stuff. I think in there, they do something in there, and a 3D printer room, which is over on that side. And we think that that's the noise that you can hear is the 3D printer doing its like juddering about printing.
If you can hear it, that is, because if you can't, then
we can hear it, and we can hear it through our headphones, and through the wall. So it must be at least the phone is picking it up. Maybe the microphones aren't. In a week where I'm just going to carry on. In a week where Aprilia break records at Mugello, Bez returns to the top, and Bagnaia is back on the podium, along with Kimi Antonelli leading the World Championship. It must be a great time to be Italian, and that's the second time I said that this year, and it keeps being true.
It's the first time since the 50s, right, where an Italian has led both championships.
Yes, absolutely. It's absolutely incredible. What is in the water in Italy right now?
Yeah, and Yannick Sinner crushing it.
Well,
tennis player. He did lose in the French, but that's okay. It's because it was a bit warm.
And, PSG won the Champions League.
Woo!
It's got nothing to do with Italy at all, but, it's not English.
The French team in Budapest.
Yes.
Yeah, Italy's doing well other than in football, but yeah.
Yeah, true. They didn't qualify
for the World Cup.
I
think second time in a row.
Sad. Once again, we'll be answering some of your questions in this podcast. If you want to send a question, you can get in touch with us via our social channels. Head over to our Patreon, which is at AAT Apex, and become a member. It's completely free, and you can get involved with our From Our Perspective series, race chats, and send us your questions to every podcast recording session, which is roughly every 2 weeks. Alternatively, you can get in touch on Instagram, TikTok, or Twitter using the at AAT Apex. And finally, why not leave us a review or a comment and a comment on Spotify, or wherever you like to get your podcast. With that, boys, let's go. Let's finish off Canada, because I mentioned that there were some things that we missed because the TV footage was focused on the Mercedes boys.
Yes, there was.
So
Tim, you
I
take
think
the lead.
arguably at least for me, one of the more exciting parts were the fact that Williams did quite well and Alpine did quite well.
Correct.
So the midfield fight is
Okay.
on.
Well, Racing Bulls were there too, right? Like Lindblad and Lawson finished well in the race. Well, not Lindblad in the race because obviously he was going backwards at the start, but in the sprint, he did okay.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like we've got a F1 and an F1.5 and then
I don't know, man. The gap between Colapinto and Hajar was pretty big.
It is pretty big, but it is Colapinto.
What? He was sixth. What more do you want from the guy? He's in an Alpine, and it hadn't yet got the Gucci sponsor on the side.
Yeah, I think the Q3 was huge,
Big for Collar, yeah,
massive. I think,
Collar.
and
Franco.
I mean, this is really. Well, this finally feels like
He's
the
got
payoff.
grips.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's got to grips with not only the car, but kind of the new regs as well.
Do you think the younger drivers adapt quicker to the new regs?
I think it's almost undoubtedly not true.
Think what?
I think
The
that's a terrible take.
Yeah,
What did he say? What?
I was like, no.
I don't
He
think
had us in the first half, to be fair.
I don't think undoubtedly. I don't think it's true. Like it's some drivers have.
No, is the answer.
Some, yes,
Sure.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
undoubtedly 100% not true. This really throwing me off. There's like a weird negative.
That
in
is
It doesn't sound
100%, definitely, undoubtedly false.
not true.
yeah. It also depends on what you class as the younger drivers.
Well, Colapinto is younger than Gasly, so that's what I'm trying to draw on.
But Gasly's
Antonelli is
significantly younger
George.
than Lewis and Alonso. Gasly's significantly younger than Alonso and Hamilton.
Well, yeah, but you know everybody's younger than Alonso. He's
Oh,
like
yeah.
60.
But would you
but-
count Gasly as a younger driver that's getting used to the regs quicker, or would you exclude
No,
that?
I just think he's probably more set in his ways. Like Colapinto has just joined Alpine. He had 1 year where in the old car, not really got used to it, whereas Gasly's been there for a while.
Yeah.
I disagree. I think performance is not related to being reproducible every single time. Right. For example, let's take a different sport. Like if you're a baseball pitcher,
Yeah.
I don't think being a better pitcher is about having the exact same perfect throw every single time.
I think that's completely. I think being a good baseball pitcher would mean not being regular, not being the same every time you do it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
about being adaptable. It's about
Yeah.
recognizing.
He nearly disagreed with you and agreed with you at the same time.
Weird turn of phrase today. But I think
Having a weird moment.
this is the thing. It's about being able to. It's about having the experience to adapt. Okay, this is going slightly differently than before, but I can make those microsecond adjustments in order to correct myself.
Yeah.
And I think that's where that's the value of experience. It's not. I think yes, potentially when you're in your first season and all of your experience is in one way, it probably feels less alien. But I think it doesn't necessarily make you more comfortable or better.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think in terms of adapting, you can't talk about that because someone that is doing their first year is not adapting because that's the only thing that they know.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it does come down to drivers' own style of racing. You know, not every driver drives the same, and if a driver happens to benefit a lot from ground effect, but then not so much from the new regs, that obviously changes their adaptability, as well as because regulations regularly change. Is this their first regulation change? Have they had to do it before? And a lot of the good drivers have had to do it, not necessarily lots of times.
Oh, Alonso's been through the mill, hasn't he?
But yeah, Alonso's been through it a lot, but right now he's struggling. But that could generally be the car. So there's lots of different variables that would dictate the adaptability and the performance of the racer rather than just his own talent.
Yeah. Okay, good answer. Lawson as well, up there. Liam Lawson. What a great race.
I can't
Actually.
listen to people saying Liam Lawson without having the Liam Lawson. Yeah, I can't.
That guy, I mean, the guy that made that video is just,
He's just
I don't think he
masking
knows
it.
what he's done. But he had a good result. But this is Lawson to a T. He will perform brilliantly and then have 3 races where he's terrible, and then come back again and have another great race.
Or he'll cause a crash and something else will go on. And he's not consistent.
He's the least consistent, I think, on the grid.
I think that's the reason why Red Bull didn't keep him.
Yeah,
really. I think that was a bit too early to bring him into that team. It's just consistency isn't there.
And the first time the second Red Bull has finished in the top 5 with Max.
In a long
time.
Congratulations, Isaac Hadjar.
He was on good form. I mean, I thought his move with Leclerc where he tried to force him into a wall was a bit
risky. Yeah.
Beyond the limit of what's allowed in life. But and he finished the lap down. But 5th place is decent.
Yeah.
Doing exactly what the second Red Bull driver needs to do when the 2 McLarens DNF and a Mercedes DNFs.
Mm-hmm.
So,
be there, get points. Really?
Yeah. Realistically, that would have been 8th, but then Max wouldn't have been 3rd. So
yeah. I think it'd be interesting. I mean, you guys might not want to, but do an episode on Red Bull second driver seat and that curse.
We have a planned thing from when we just want in the bank.
Yeah.
We just need to find a time to record it, which is going to be on
Summer
rise and fall of Red Bull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Summer break, maybe.
And rise again.
Yeah.
We're going to call it, name it after the Batman trilogy. So,
Red Bull Begins.
Red Bull Begins. Red Bull Rises.
The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be an interesting topic of discussion.
We're going to do one on McLaren too, but name it after the Harry Potter films.
Why?
Because then we get to talk about Zach's Chamber of Secrets.
Why don't you just call it Gemini.com?
No, I mean, it's on our list. We'd like some sort of, for the times like we had when Saudi and Bahrain were cancelled, where we can just we have this topic, we've had it recorded for a while, it doesn't matter when it comes out because it's not time sensitive.
More like a sort of YouTube documentary style.
Correct. And then, over the winter break when Tim goes back to see family and I spend time with the kids, then we can put that sort of stuff out. Yeah. We just need to find a time to record it when things aren't happening. And the summer break is probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Wish we'd used April and May for that, but never mind. Too late now. It needs some research, and the research takes time. So, Timothy, do you remember the last time we did an episode together and we talked about all the crazy things that Antonelli has achieved?
Mm-hmm.
Here are some crazy stats for you after Canada. Antonelli is now the only driver in history to record the first 4 wins consecutively. So not only is he the first to do 3 poles to 3 wins, be the first 3 wins, he's now the only driver ever to win 4 races, his first 4 races consecutively. That's insane. And obviously, he's the first Italian to win 4 consecutive races since Ascari in 1953.
Yeah, I don't think that record's going to get broken for a while.
Well, it was 9 races.
Yeah.
We're only 5 away from that.
Yeah.
But Charles Leclerc's going to win him.
I don't think Kimi's record's going to get broken for a while. First 4 wins on them.
No, I can't see that.
Yeah, I think it would be pretty.
It's like all these Max records, right? Max only has so many records. Well, okay, Max has many records because he's a great driver. But Max only has so many records like youngest this, youngest that, youngest this, because he started so young.
Yeah, and he's the reason why drivers can't start that young now.
Right, exactly. And it's
so
the same with Seb.
Gonna get.
Seb had a load of records where it was the youngest this, the youngest that, because he hit Red Bull in his second full season, and Red Bull hit a good
dominant streak.
They were at the front competing with Brawn at that time as well. Sometimes the stars do just align, and that's okay. It's okay to be in that position.
Yeah, it is.
People are very happy to say Lewis nearly won in his first season, but Lewis only nearly won in his first season because he started at McLaren.
Yeah,
and that McLaren was a Ferrari. So
it is a case of the sport in general being whoever's in the best car wins races. If you get the best car at your first season, you're going to start winning races.
Yeah, the only time in my memory where the best driver hasn't ended up in the best car is 2009 when Jenson Button ended up in the Brawn, and 2025 where Lando Norris won in the McLaren. They're the only 2 times I can really think of off the top of my head, Tim. I don't know if you're the same. Exactly those 2 years.
It's interesting that my drivers have won more World Championships than his team has in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
But also, it's important to remember that neither of them know any of you.
know we exist.
So,
No, I know.
you know,
Christian Horner knows me. I met him a long time ago at Goodwood. Just saying.
Knows is a strong word.
yeah, I was going to say, okay,
He knows
you
of
saw
me.
him.
He knows of me. We had a conversation.
It was
Yeah,
a guy
but
you met at the
he's not
airport,
either of his drivers or your team.
I know.
So, fun fact.
I met Mike Gascoigne.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's cool. He no longer competes in Formula One. He was a Toyota engineer, but never mind. Anyway, back to Formula One. Each podium this year has been 3 drivers who've never stood on the podium as a trio,
That's a nice thought.
which means we've also had 5 unique podiums.
Yeah, it's good.
I thought
Change
the
of pace.
Canada podium was
Wholesome.
pretty awesome, actually.
So I've got there that the podium in Canada was the exact order from that photo on the grid in Monza in 2018.
Yeah.
But in the order, right? Because it's Max and Lewis standing next to each other with Antonelli as a child in front of them.
Yeah.
And it was that way on the podium. That was quite cool.
Yeah.
Russell ends a 38 race finishing streak, the 4th longest in F1 history.
What is the longest?
Yeah.
Lewis, 44 races. Hashtag 44.
The GOAT.
Hashtag blessed. It's the first race since the 2021 Dutch Grand Prix in Zandvoort that 4 or fewer cars have finished on the lead lap. Charles Leclerc was nearly lapped by Antonelli in 4th place. The 2021 Zandvoort race obviously was won by Max Verstappen, and the top 3, which was Hambot Verhambot, were on the lead lap, and no one else. But also, Zandvoort is perhaps the shortest track on the calendar, and
The 2-3 fastest
Canada.
cars.
and Canada isn't.
Yes.
So this is arguably more impressive.
Yeah.
It's the highest finishing position for Lewis as a Ferrari driver.
Mm-hmm.
It's
What
the
about
highest.
sprint race?
That doesn't count. It's the highest finishing position for Max this year. It's his first podium as well. And every Canadian Grand Prix in the hybrid era has had a Mercedes driver on the podium.
Wow.
That record continues.
That is an interesting.
Wow. Over 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
They've really
They love Canada
dominated the hybrid era, haven't they, Mercedes?
They have really dominated the hybrid era.
in Canada.
Because I doubt
Canada.
that's the only track that has that stat.
The Dutch Grand Prix has had a Red Bull on the podium at every running in the hybrid era, but it's only
Been there for like 5 years.
5 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very different stat. Ross Brawn, Jake,
Yes.
your hero, really, because without Ross, JB would not be a world champion.
Same thing with Michael Schumacher, really.
False. Absolute lies.
He'd be a 2-time world champion.
Yeah, but he would still be a world champion. So that is statistically, without Flavio, Michael would not be a world champion.
Yeah.
So Flavio is the GOAT, just saying. And also, don't you think he looks a bit like a Bond villain? Sorry,
Yes.
we started talking about Ross. We never even made it to Ross. We got to Flavio. Don't you think Flavio looks like a Bond villain?
He just dominates every press release, doesn't he?
He's so cool. Right, Ross is back in motorsport,
Not in Formula One.
but not in Formula One.
Shame, but yeah.
So Ross Brawn, for those who don't know who Ross Brawn is,
He ran the FIA for a while, didn't he?
FOM,
I thought, yeah.
yeah. Jean Todt ran the FIA.
Yeah.
That's who you're thinking of. So Ross Brawn became perhaps one of the most famous men in Formula One in the Ferrari era in the early 2000s.
Yeah,
Like he was in the sport before then, but really that's limelight.
Yeah, he was the face of Ferrari for a good.
Yeah, he was.
Few
He
years.
was not because Jean Todt was head of Ferrari. He was the sort of team principal. He
Yeah.
was the guy running the show. He was the Andrea Stella of Ferrari.
The Toto Wolff, the Fred Vasseur.
And Andrea Stella was the guy in the driver of the years. But anyway,
Yeah.
so Ross took Ferrari to huge success. Then both he and Jean Todt left Ferrari. Jean Todt went to go and run the FIA.
Yep.
And Ross went on, as a lot of Ferrari employees have actually, because Stefano. Anyway, no, he's in FOM. He's in FOM. Whereas Ross went on to run Honda. after that for a while, which eventually became Brawn, which bore his name.
For £1.
And then he stayed on while they became Mercedes until 2013, when there was a bit of a dispute between Mercedes, as in Daimler, and Mercedes, the F1 team, as to what Ross was actually doing for the team. So Ross decided, you know what, I'm out, see you later.
Yep.
Retired from motorsport altogether. Toto took over and the rest is history. Then in 2017, he came back to work at FOM, so Formula One Management, which is the people who run Formula One, whereas the FIA make the rules. That's the distinction. He was managing director of motorsport and technical director for Formula One Management from 2017 until the end of 2022, when he decided once again, you know what, I'm done. But he was not done, because here he is back again in motorsport, taking a position as an advisor for Pramac Racing in MotoGP on the board of directors. He is working alongside his longtime friend Paolo Campinotti, who is head of Pramac, as a strategic advisor. This is quite interesting, Jake, wouldn't you say? Because this is another big scalp from Formula One coming over to MotoGP.
Yes, it I feel like
It's a big sigh.
yeah, it's slowly becoming MotoGP a kind of place for former Formula One CEOs and team principals, and obviously Gunter Steiner's there.
Massimo Rivola.
Yeah, it isn't a bad thing. If we've seen anything from Formula One and their success, they are dominating the motorsport space in terms of coverage.
Yes, Formula One sucks the air out of everything else.
Yes. It'd be nice to have a similar effect for MotoGP. So if this can be sort of taken...
But you want two things sucking the air out of you.
No.
Steady on.
As in dominating the bike space.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Because there's not really, in terms of bike racing, there's obviously the TT.
TT is huge.
Yeah, it's huge. It's uncompetitive in terms of coverage in this country, at least.
Yeah.
But bearing in mind
you
that...
pay for a pass, don't you?
Yeah. You've got British Superbikes, you've got World Superbikes, you've got MotoGP. All three of them don't get particularly the level of coverage you'd expect for the quality that is there. To a degree.
Yeah. Bold of you to say quality when...
BSB is involved, yeah.
No, World Superbikes is currently just Nicola Bulliger winning every single race. So
yeah, this season.
I think it's interesting that what you said at the beginning, which was that this is MotoGP seems to be the space that the teams move, or the team people move toward, whereas obviously WEC is where the drivers move to. You get that divergence.
Yes.
I think that's because, as Jake says, there's nowhere for... We're about to enter a really big shake-up in the rider market in MotoGP, and there's nowhere for them to go on to.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there is World Superbikes, but World Superbikes is the pinnacle of
Superbikes.
sort of racing sports bikes.
Yeah.
Like, that you can actually go and buy. Whereas MotoGP is arguably the pinnacle of racing prototypes, like Formula One is to WEC. So in that sense, going on to World Superbikes is kind of the way to go. I think what it is that MotoGP is about to go boom.
Boom. They've just been bought by Liberty Media.
They've just been bought by Liberty, and we've seen what happened before, and sort of some of these old heads that brought so much success. Even Steiner, right? He worked at Red Bull for a while and Jaguar. Even somebody like Steiner who can go in and bring that expertise to a team, a relatively small team. These are both satellite teams that Steiner and Brawn have gone to, right? They're not factory teams. Like, okay, Massimo Rivola, who was at Ferrari, he's gone on to a factory team and arguably made an absolute monster of a bike this year, Aprilia. But these are sort of teams that are running on a very tight budget, having to buy equipment from another outlet, that need people like Brawn to come and bring their expertise. And this is the right move for him, I think.
Steiner's got, just on Steiner before I go Brawn, Steiner's got a lot of experience of working on a very, very tight budget and a very, very small leash at Haas.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure we were all aware how that ended.
How did it end?
Not particularly amazingly well. But I think Brawn, bearing in mind how Yamaha are struggling, and we don't know whether it's just the engine, or whether it's all of Yamaha in general that is struggling. You know, the factory and the satellite team, or anything in the background. Maybe it's the staff, maybe it's the budget. We don't know. We don't see behind the curtain. Brawn could bring some expertise to maybe assist in small bites and small chunks to get them back to where they won't be competing for championships, but in 2-3 years' time could be competing for race wins again. And bearing in mind they're probably going to lose Fabio Quartararo.
Quartararo. Yeah,
I think it's about time they make it. I mean, I know it's Pramac and it's not Yamaha, but it's about time that Yamaha start to maybe make moves to create not necessarily a dynasty, but a team of united front as a Yamaha. Because right now it kind of feels a little bit divided.
Yeah, but this is Pramac. This isn't Yamaha. We're not talking about Yamaha. The Pramac is just a team that buy Yamaha bikes, right? Yeah. So they've brought Ross in because I think they know that this space is about to go boom, and they need somebody who can handle the boom.
Yeah,
and if anybody can handle the boom,
it's Brawn.
It's Ross Brawn.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Right, let's quickly move it on to MotoGP because return of the Marc.
Yeah.
Marc Marquez was back.
You know what it is, what it is, what it is, what it isn't.
There we go.
Yeah.
So
nicely mumbled by me there.
Thanks, Tim.
So let me just explain to you the kind of mental, what
he's been
fortitude that this man must have, because not 30 days ago, in fact 3 weeks ago, from the Italian Grand Prix at the weekend, Marc breaks his foot in a crash at Le Mans, discovers that the surgeries he's had over his entire lifetime on his shoulder haven't worked, and goes for double surgery on both his foot and his shoulder. Then decides that he's going to go to the race and compete in the race. Turns up on the Thursday, walks through the paddock wearing a boot on his right foot and not really moving his shoulder much. Takes part in FP1, which apparently you don't need to be declared fit to take part in FP1.
Shocking.
Isn't that insane? Then after FP1, in which he's 1.1 seconds off the pace, he goes to the medical officer and is cleared to race. Takes part in PR, which is the free practice session in which the order for Q1, Q2 is decided. Makes it through to Q2 on his first go, and then qualifies in fourth as the highest Ducati. I mean,
outrageous.
What? This man is a machine.
It is outrageous.
The man is an absolute machine.
I am questioning, we did a podcast recently about rider safety.
Yeah.
Right? This is self-inflicted.
What is?
This choice for Marc to race.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have to.
He doesn't have to. He could recover further.
He's not going to win the title this year. He's too far away.
He could take a few more races off and recover fully and then come back to it. But no, he just decides to come, I'm still unable to move my arm and my foot.
You're just bitter because he beat Pedro.
Always.
Or he was beating Pedro for a long time throughout the race. And, that's on you, kid. So he put his Ducati fourth, the highest Ducati at their home race. Then they ran the special livery and all sort of that stuff. Not only that, in the sprint, he beat 3 Aprilias off the line.
Yeah, that was
leading
surprising.
the race by turn 1.
Yeah.
What is this guy? He's absolutely insane. He did finish the sprint in 5th. He did fall back. I mean, he was attacked by all 3 of those Aprilias and Moreira, which is just insane. Didier then obviously had his late race success that we've seen for so long, and he's also insane on that Ducati ride. And in the Grand Prix, he was battling with both Aprilias and Bagnaia to begin with, fell back into Acosta, and then they all just mugged him off at the last minute, didn't they? I mean, Acosta ran him wide, then through comes Didier, through comes Agura, through goes Hamilton. But
not sure whether that was fatigue or whether that was just tires.
It felt like fatigue.
It did. He wasn't riding particularly comfortably at the end. He didn't look like the Marc we know.
It
Yeah.
looked like his foot was broken and his shoulder was
Yeah,
in pieces.
it's weird, that, isn't
Yeah.
it? It's absolutely weird. He's got plates in his shoulder and a broken fifth metatarsal, and he's absolutely knackered. But not to let Marc Marquez steal the limelight from what was an absolutely incredible Italian Grand Prix for Italian people, because Aprilia set the fastest ever recorded speed.
Yep.
They set the fastest ever recorded lap at Mugello at their home race. They secured their first pole position at their home race. Bez secured his first pole position at his home race. And they had their first front row lockout at their home race, which is also the first Italian front row lockout since 1968. They won the sprint race with Fernandez, and they won the Grand Prix with Bez. And then, Tim, I don't know if you saw this on social medias, but the celebrations with the Italian fans after the race. So they don't really do this in F1 anymore, probably because it's impractical to undo seatbelts and things. But in MotoGP, they're allowed to basically do what the fuck they want. They can just ride around and celebrate with the fans. I mean, we've seen riders jump off, run behind the crash fence and like disappear up into the crowds and just dance and party and whatever.
Yeah, Marquez brothers in Spain last year.
So Bez just took 25 minutes to ride back in after the race. He was stopping at every single grandstand and, flying the Italian flag and whatever in tears.
Yeah, I think
lost his gloves.
I
don't know where they went.
I think part of the reason why he was stopping so much is because he was crying. I don't think he could see.
Celebrated with every mum and everybody and their mums, right? Then after the podium, he goes down to the pit wall to then celebrate with the fans who had burst onto the track, which was just unbelievable. Easy race for him, really.
Once he got
there, once he got past Bagnaia, pulled a 1 second gap after he overtook Bagnaia in one lap.
Yeah, Bagnaia fell off.
Yeah, Martin made it up to second, but said after the race that he's being pushed to places he's never been pushed before by Bez's pace.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I wish I'd been there.
It would have been insane.
That looked like a festival vibe. Yeah. In terms of the Grand Prix itself, and I know I've written on the sheet, holy fucking shit, what is going on at Aprilia? So just to sum up Aprilia's achievements, as if we haven't rated them so highly throughout the rest of the season, Bez took a pole lap, which was the first ever 1 minute 43 lap at Mugello. Martin takes the all-time speed record with a top speed of 368.6 kilometers an hour, or in Queen's English, that's 229 miles an hour. Aprilia lock out the front row in qualifying. Fernandez takes the sprint win. Aprilia 1, 2, 4, and 8. Aprilia 1, 2, 4, and 9 in the race 2. Martin looked very menacing, seemed to be more thoughtful in his approach to a weekend than he was in Spain. Martin reports that he's being pushed to his absolute limit by Bez, and the rivalry is clearly building between those two.
Good, because it looks like a good one.
It wasn't just Aprilia, so Pecco Bagnaia also looked in good form. He was 6th in qualifying, 7th in the sprint. Nothing major to write home about on Saturdays, but on Sunday, he jumped up to 3rd on the first lap, took P2 at turn 1 on the second lap, and then was leading the race by lap 3. He managed to hold it on until 10 laps to go when the Aprilia's their tyre wear really...
Yeah, it felt like a tyre deciding
They seem
point.
inevitable, and we've spoken about this before, right? Like racing has become, can you look after tyres? And if you can, you're probably going to win the race.
Yeah, it felt very much the case, at least for Aprilia and obviously Digia, that second half of the race is kind of theirs to own.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether it's just
inevitable.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's just the Ducati bike in itself, and it just can get the best out of it, or whether it's...
I think they're just working hard to stay with the Aprilia. I think the Aprilia is the faster bike, and then they're working hard in the first part of the race to stay with them, and that means that by the time they get to the second half of the race, their tyres are absolutely knackered, whereas the Aprilias have been in cruise control for the first half of the race, and then they just carry on. I don't think Bez got quicker. I just think everybody else got slower.
Just consistent Bez. Yeah. And I don't know whether you try and watch onboards as much as when I do. You probably do because you ride bikes.
How do you watch onboards? I just watched on the app.
Yeah, you watch on the app, but when there's onboards, you don't just.
I don't sit there
Ignore
on
it.
my sofa and lean. I don't do this.
Oh, okay.
I don't do that. That would be a crazy person who does that.
Yeah. But the
Tim, next time you come to my house and I'm watching the race, just watch me try to
it does feel like when you're watching the Aprilia either from the back or from the front or wherever,
Yeah.
it does look a lot more grounded in the corners. There seems to be less twitching, and I think that might be the reason why they're getting the best out of the tyres.
They just built a good bike.
It's just good all around.
Got a feel for Fernandez.
Yeah.
What could have been? Could have been a double.
Yeah.
He took an excellent victory on Saturday in the sprint. Absolutely fantastic. And then decided at turn 1, I'm going to throw this away. Ran so deep, went from first, which was never going to be.
He wasn't going to win the race with.
But second on the grid and down to 17th, made it back to 9th.
It's like race is gone.
Was definitely either faster than Bez or equal with Bez throughout the entire race.
I won't say the race win was on for him, just because of how good Bez was. But
probably second.
A good podium was definitely on the cards.
Okay, that answered my question. And I've run out of stuff to talk about. Tim, you want to mention anything on Belgium, 6 hours of Spa?
It was good as always, but I think let's wrap it together with Le Mans and do a full
so Le Mans is, as of time of recording, next week. As of time of listening, the weekend just gone. So we'll do
a review.
Next episode, we'll do a WEC episode.
Exactly.
We'll sit down, we'll do it properly. It takes a long time to filter through all of that noise and find the actual stories that we want to talk about, because there is so much that happens.
It's such a dense weekend,
Yeah, there's 6 hours of
6 hours of Belgium and then 24 hours of Le Mans. So there's 30 hours that we have to sift through and find what we think would be a good talking point, and then find out, make sure we know all the facts before we start just rabbiting on. And then
it's not
that's
as well
that's
covered.
15 Formula One races.
Yeah, it's not as well covered as Formula One or MotoGP.
That's also true. There's not as much news broadcast about it either. So you can't sort of do a wide search for topics and then delve into the ones that are interesting and pull the information from reputable sources. You have to sit through the race highlights, figure out what the talking points are, then go and try and find that information on the team's output, right? So it's a little bit harder. It is harder, but we really want to work at it because WEC is A, super cool, and B, it's not spoken about enough.
No, it's not. And it's building, and it's an exciting thing to be engaged with.
Yeah. I think this year is more exciting than last year. I think it's mixed up this year a little bit more.
Massively.
Bop
is awesome, and I can't wait to see how it affects Formula One in this iteration of Andrew that we have. Right, boys, I'm going to call it there because this room is now no longer ours. We have a short amount of time to wrap up and get out. And B, we've been talking for 2 hours and 11 minutes, and I can see that Tim is flagging.
I'm flagging. I need some food, man. Woo.
So all that's left for me to say is thanks for joining me, boys. And Jake, you're welcome to join us for the WEC podcast in a couple of weeks' time, but I suspect it will be just Timothy and myself.
Sure.
Finally, if you want to send us your questions, again, please do get in touch via our social channels. Head over to Patreon, AAT Apex, and become a member. It's completely free. You can get involved with our From Our Perspective series, and one day I will slow this down so I can say it. Raise chats and send us your questions for every podcast recording session. Alternatively, you can get in touch on Instagram, TikTok, or Twitter at AAT Apex. And remember to check out our website, AAT Apex. That's not the website. Our website, aheadattheapex.com. And finally, why not leave us a review and a comment on Spotify or wherever you like to get your podcasts. If you do not watch us on Spotify, but you just listen to us or on a different podcast, you may have noticed we've just updated all of our artwork, covers and things like that. And we're trying to stick to more of a simple theme rather than just grab a screenshot from this recording. So we do a nice little thing that took me all of an hour.
Getting a bit profesh.
With Canva AI the other week. So that's nice. Right. We will see you next week for some WEC.
WEC.
WEC-isode.
Wepisode.
Peace.